his eyes, drawing us all to the flame. Refuse the child's gaze, or be undone. One glance will reduce a mountain to dust. A king to a beggar. And an ocean to a desert. Everything he touches will be changed. This, it cannot be unseen.
Wow, the Apex team is getting wilder and wilder with those lore trailers. I can't wait to see more.
Trust me, you're not alone. I love that trailer, but we have a lot more coming up during the main show that you're not gonna wanna miss.
And that is now mere moments away. But one last recap from us featuring one of the newest members of the EA Sports family, Codemasters.
Yes, you'll know them best from their incredible slate of racing titles like Dirt, Grid, and the F1 series, whose latest installment just dropped a few days ago.
If you follow F1, you know it's been an absolutely crazy year so far with some amazing rivalries. Well, if you want to put yourself right in the middle of that, Cody's is here to make that dream a reality. Let's drop straight into the action with the F1 2021 trailer.
Nice.
I just don't get it, Zoe. He gets to pit ahead of me, and they give his car the only new power unit last season. And he gets to go out behind me in qualifying. This kid is the new #1 driver.
We'll have more from Codemasters coming up in just a few seconds. We're about to begin, and I personally cannot wait for you to see what Battlefield...
To the top. And if you think that you can handle what I got, then bring it on. Bring it on. I'll fight for the right. I'll fight for the right. I'll fight for the right to do what I want.
Joining us now from London is Codemasters senior game designer, Becky Crossdale. Welcome, Becky.
Hey, Austin.
Hey, now I heard that you might have a little surprise for us today.
Yes, I do, and I don't know if you can tell, Austin, but I am so excited because on behalf of the entire Codemasters team, this is the world premiere trailer for Grid Legends.
Let's turn over, please.
160, take 13, common.
Dozens of drivers, only one can become champion.
My name is Yume Tanaka. My goal is to become the first woman ever to win the championship.
They know who I am. I'm Nathan McKay, 5-time Grid Series world champion. Soon to be 6 times. And that's a new record.
If it's grid legal, I can build it to win. Touring cars, muscle cars, open wheel, drift.
Best team, best car.
Win by having the money, by having the guts.
So if these idiots can't keep their cars on the track, it's their problem.
But you keep pulling up there, that stops. But you're gonna get somebody hurt.
Hopefully, it'll be you.
Bring it on, baby. That's why we're here.
Becky, this looks incredible. On top of the gameplay and the cars and the environments, now we've got all these characters that seem to have different motivations. I'm already incredibly invested. It looks like you guys are really up in the ante on storytelling.
Well, first and foremost, the Grid series has always been about delivering gameplay excellence. And with Grid Legends, you are still getting that same immersive racing experience that you know and love. But this time we are taking things up a notch and we're adding another layer on top of that. We are really proud of this new story mode.
Well, I do love a good story, and I feel like I've seen a lot of those faces somewhere before.
Yeah, we had the absolute pleasure of working with the incredibly talented Ncuti Gatwa, who plays the wonderful Eric in Netflix's Sex Education. We also captured the entire thing using extended reality, or XR, where if you've been watching Disney's The Mandalorian, you will have seen that tech in action. It's what they use to create those incredible worlds.
Well, it sounds amazing, but this obviously isn't racing in space, right?
No. We are using this tech to draw you further into this racing experience. We really want to bring you deeper into the Grid world than ever before. It's also been really great for our actors because they're acting against something that's visually there. It's not the same as green screen or motion capture. They are stepping into our Grid world and reacting with it.
It sounds great. Can you give us any hints on the story, or would that be spoilers?
Without any spoilers, we are giving you a classic underdog tale. We were putting you straight into the driver's seat, right in the middle of the Grid World Series, where you'll be facing off against the all-dominant Raven West team. That is a team that does not like to share the tarmac. And for the rest of the story, well, you just have to wait and see.
But let's talk gameplay. We saw a new big range of vehicles in that trailer. Can you talk about those a little bit?
Oh, yeah, there are so many vehicles. We are giving you big rigs, stadium trucks, drift cars, open wheelers, muscle cars, electric cars. We are giving you hypercars like the Aston Martin Valkyrie. Have you seen that car? And we are also giving you multi-class mixed racing, which means that you can take any of those cars and put them together on the same track.
Well, I just saw a big rig take out an open wheeler in the trailer, and I love it. So is there anything else that you can tell us about Grid Legends?
Without giving too much away, there is a ton of new stuff for the fans to sink their teeth into, including some new modes such as boost mode and elimination mode. We've also got some fancy new locations like the iconic city of Moscow. We've also got the beautiful city of London as well, so you can drive right past Buckingham Palace, or you could travel to the stunning Strada Alpina and take one of our beautiful hypercars to its limit.
All right, well, you heard it here first. Storytelling and extended reality, mixed class racing, new modes, new locations. This is beyond exciting. So, Becky, thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you, Austin.
Of course. All right, folks, so we're just getting started. We've seen Grid Legends, and now it's time for a different breed of legend. Two years ago, Apex Legends came out of nowhere. And now 100 million players and 17 Legends later, it just keeps getting bigger. We've got more modes, more maps, more platforms for play, and of course, more Legends. So what's next for Apex? Well, today, we have answers. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Apex Legends Emergence.
Change. I see it in everything. I see it in a boy rocked by tragedy. Transform his pain and defy reality. I see it in the warrior, who must choose between their new life and the annihilation of their home. I see it in a girl, tortured by revenge, embrace hope when love awakens her heart. I see it in me, a boy born under a bad omen, turn his tale into a legend. Change is relentless, but that does not mean it cannot be beautiful. Your true nature. Know that you are not alone. Change comes for us all. Chaos has purpose. All of us thrown together, so the flame can burn its brightest. Change. Fight it and fall. Accept it and rise above.
Wow. I'm standing here like slack-jawed watching this because there's so much to unpack from that trailer. So let's go ahead and meet the man with all the answers, Apex game director Chad Grenier. So happy to have you here, Chad.
Thanks, Austin. Happy to be here. Before we get started and get into it, I want to give a shout out to the amazing developers at Respawn.
Hey.
All right, well, a subset of them. If you love Apex, it's because of these amazing developers that are working hard creating Apex Legends for us.
Well, big love to the whole Respawn team, especially whoever came up with Lifeline, because that's my girl. But okay, there's a lot for us to talk about, but you know I'm geeked about Seer, so can you tell us some more about his abilities? I saw this man stare through walls. He's got drones coming out of his chest. Please tell me about his kit.
Yeah, similar to Bloodhound, Seer is all about tracking enemies, but in a different way and has a very unique kit. So while you're aiming down the sights, you'll have a heartbeat sensor that will give you hints as to where an enemy might be. If you think you've located them, you can use your tactical, which sends out some of those drones out of your chest and will actually reveal and track the enemy's location. The ultimate is really powerful, especially in certain gameplay situations. You can send out hundreds of micro drones and create a sphere around an area that you choose, and all enemies that are moving quickly through that space are tracked.
I love when there's new abilities that kind of change the game, because this game obviously is always changing, always evolving, and whenever there's a new legend, there's always an interesting shift in the meta. So with those incredible abilities, how do you think that Seer is going to change the game?
Yeah, again, I mentioned Bloodhound also as a tracker, but unlike Bloodhound, Seer is about very precise and lingering information. So he's a bit more of a stealth-oriented legend, and you're gonna see, I think, some interactions because of that sphere I mentioned, his ultimate. If you're moving quickly through that space, your footsteps are revealed. But now if you're walking slowly, you can avoid the detection. And so I think you'll see some interesting gameplay experiences and new ways to play with slowing it down a bit.
Yeah, it sounds like once the ring gets tight especially, you're gonna have a lot of new ways to play this game. But this past season, for instance, it felt like Apex really moved beyond Battle Royale with the introduction of arenas. So what's the reaction been like for you guys?
The fan reaction has been really great. We're seeing a lot of players enjoy arenas, which is awesome. We're really excited to finally have a way to play Apex Legends beyond Battle Royale. And yeah, people are loving it. So we've got new maps in the works and some other things coming I don't want to talk about just yet, but we've got a lot planned for arenas.
All right, fair. Well, I do know that you guys announced ranked arenas are coming as well. So can you give us some information on that?
Yep, so we've got one season of arenas under our belts now. We wanted to make sure that we were seeing how players were adapting to the mode, make sure to get the balance right, make sure that the price and the economy is correct. And now we'll be introducing the ranked mode in Emergence. So it's a bit of a different ranked system than we have in the Battle Royale mode. So we're really excited for you to get your hands on it.
Well, it's really cool to see Apex always doing new things. Like, for instance, leaning into the competitive scene with things like the Apex Legends Global Series. So are we going to see more of the ALGS?
Absolutely. We just ended year 1 of ALGS. Our championships recently concluded, and it was amazing. There's like so many tactics and amazing plays in there. Many teams were fighting for the championship in the last round. We hit record numbers, so we're really excited in September to be kicking off year 2 of the ALGS. And for the first time, we're going to be inviting PlayStation and Xbox players to compete alongside the PC players, really see who's best, and an all-new league format. So we have more information at playapex.com/ALGS.
Well, I am beyond looking forward to it. And Chad, before you go, I have to ask, when can we see more from Seer?
We've got an awesome gameplay trailer coming on Monday, and Emergence drops on August 3rd. And for now, I can show you a finisher.
Of course, please, please.
This game demands so much of us. But from you, she demands everything.
Yeah, that's all I need to see. It's so awesome. But Chad, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Austin.
Of course. And again, big shout out to the whole Respawn team. Now for the Apex fans watching us on Twitch today, Respawn is hooking you up with an exclusive Jumpmaster gun charm, so make sure you've got your Twitch and EA account linked and keep watching the show to earn that drop. But that's not the only thing we're giving out today. Keep an eye out for the hidden letters that spell out a secret phrase, because at the end of the show, we'll give you a link where you can enter that code for your chance to win some great prizes, including codes for EA originals like Knockout City and It Takes Two. So speaking of originals, let's head across the ocean for some stop motion and check out a soon-to-be-released EA original, Lost in Random.
And just like that, young Austin found himself introducing a new segment.
Hello?
He stalled, bewildered by the voice coming from somewhere unknown. Somewhere random.
Okay. All right, anyway, it's coming soon and it looks really cool.
Austin stopped himself. Why, he'd forgotten to mention the Tribeca Film Festival selection.
It was a selection at the Tribeca Film Festival.
He tried the line again, more enthusiastically.
Look, man, I'm trying to run a whole show.
More enthusiastically. Really selling it.
Could you just let me intro the segment? Thank you. It was an official Tribeca Film Festival selection this summer, and it's coming soon. Joining us from Gothenburg, Sweden to tell us more is Zoink creative director Olav Redmo.
Hello, Austin.
How's it going, Olav? Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on Tribeca. It's so cool to see video games right next to movies being regarded as they should be.
Thank you, Austin. I'm so proud of the Zoink team and what we've accomplished, and I'm so happy about the selection because Lost in Random is really inspired by all these movies that I grew up with and stop-motion animation and dark fairy tales. And at Zoink, we're always trying to push narrative in video games, so I'm so happy, yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see more. Olav of my life. What do you have for us today?
I'm super pleased to share a first look at one of our most unique aspects of Lost in Random's gameplay, Dice Battle, which is an exciting, explosive blend of real-time action and time-stop tactics. where every roll of the dice unleashes incredible powers out of the head of your Jack-in-the-Box buddy, Dicey.
Well, it sounds awesome, so let's take a look.
Once upon a time, there were two devoted sisters named Even and Odd. Cruelly separated by an evil queen and the roll of a dice.
I'm coming!
Together with this little fella, Even was determined to rescue her beloved sister.
Come on, Dicey!
In this strange and fascinating world of random, adventure and combat go hand in hand. And many peculiar characters await. Some will help. You mean this one? And some won't.
That's against the rules. Oh, sure. A little dice.
Those coins can be traded for cards.
Cards, cards. I got cards here, the greatest cards in the land.
Ooh, cards contain new attacks, abilities, and more. All of which come in handy during dice battle.
Ready, Dicey?
Even uses her slingshot to attack deadly foes. This can knock off energy cubes used to feed her strange companion Dicey. And once fully charged, Even can roll Dicey and freeze time itself. Let's see how she uses it. Oh, impressive.
Pressure.
Well done, Even. Nice. Ooh, that was a good one. Even's quest will take her across all 6 realms of random. Even must roll the dice and play the odds. But just a chance at saving her sister.
Random rules. Long may she reign.
Dicey!
My child, your sister.
Just from that alone, I already need to play this game. It looks so cool, but what can you tell me about these combat cards that we're seeing?
Cards are just one part of dice battle, but I love the way they look, so I brought a few examples to show off.
Oh, okay, awesome. What are we looking at here, then?
So, as you saw, cards can be selected during combat that unleash new powers and abilities, like this one, for instance, Explosive Dice, which turns Dicey into this ticking time bomb. You just gotta be careful so it doesn't blow you up. Keep your distance. And where's this hammer of 2 lets you summon a giant hammer, which also gives Even super strength to be able to swing it around.
Offensive maneuvers, I like it.
But it's not just about offense. Like, we have also, for instance, Uma's Blessing, which comes from Uma, this old hidden witch. And she provides a bubble shield to protect Even. And that's just a taste. Like, there's a lot of different powers at your disposal. Some curse enemies, some heal Even or create traps. Some arenas also work as giant board games affected by rolling dicey. So you're gonna have to try different tactics to conquer the Queen's giant, mad, tabletop-themed arenas.
All right, Olav, obviously, my next question, you know it's coming. When can we play this game?
Yeah, my favorite question. Lost in Random releases on September 10th on PC, console, and Nintendo Switch. And you can pre-order starting right after the show. And if you want a dicey companion of your own, he'll be available to EA Play members as a gun charm in one of my current favorites, Apex. So keep an eye out for that.
Well, you all heard it here first. And Olav, thank you so much for joining us today.
It has been my absolute pleasure, Austin, and welcome to Random.
Thanks. Well, there you have it. Lost in Random is coming soon, but there's another EA original that's already here. And it's bringing that throwback playground heat to the masses. That's right. I'm talking about Knockout City. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Oh. Woo! Dropped earlier this year, Knockout City has had one hell of a summer, and they're just getting warmed up. Here with more is Karthik Bala from Velen Studios in New York.
Thanks, Austin. We're so grateful to our community for the massive response to Knockout City. With millions of new brawlers, hundreds of thousands of crews, and nearly 1 billion KOs landed, your response has really been a knockout. As an indie team dedicated to taking creative risks, having all of you embrace this unique thing we've made is an amazing feeling. And I just want to say thank you. At launch, we promised you new features and updates that keep the game fresh and exciting. Today, I'm here to deliver on that promise. On behalf of the whole Valiant Studios team, it's my absolute thrill to present Knockout City Season 2, Fight at the Movies.
In a world of chaos, where mayhem rules the streets, is anyone strong enough to stop the unstoppable? A world where one hero rises to meet instant regret. A world where lovers chase their passions and feel the burn. A world where terror lurks high above. Where warriors fight for dodge brawl supremacy. And teensy tiny brawlers battle it out in a child's bedroom? This season, bring your moves to the movies. Coming July 20... Oh man, that voice is murder on the pipes. The Hollywood Drive-In opens July 27th. We'll see you at the movies. It's showtime.
You saw it. We got new skins. We got a new ball. Knockout City, baby. Season 2 arrives July 27th. And remember, you can play for free up to Street Rank 25, so get in. You might come across me and my crew. We're called That Baseline. You won't beat us because we're really good, but you'll have fun. And right now, it's available on all platforms with crossplay. So if you haven't yet, go ahead, get in there and give it a whirl. All right, everyone. The moment that you have been waiting for is here. You've seen the trailers, you've read the hot takes, and you already know that Battlefield is back, baby. You hear me? It's back. Battlefield is back, baby. It's Battlefield. I can't wait to wingsuit surf a tornado. This game is gonna be so good. And in just a moment, we're revealing a brand new Battlefield 2042 experience. But first, for those who haven't been paying attention, here's what you've been missing out on.
God, look at these maps.
That's so cool.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
This is awesome.
Do it. Please do.
On behalf of our entire team, we hope you're thrilled with what you've seen so far from Battlefield 2042. But this is just the beginning. We have so much more to show you. Battlefield 2042 is built up by 3 epic experiences. Firstly, of course, all-out warfare that we showed you earlier. Secondly, Hazard Zone that we'll show off later this year. And now, a new community-driven experience that we're happy to share with you today. Built by our old friends over at Triple Effect, formerly Dice LA, it's an experience designed from community feedback. It's an experience we've dreamt about building for over a decade. So, let's have a look.
this is more than just maps, right?
Absolutely. Portal is a chance for the community to drive the platform. There's a whole slate of customization options and even an advanced logic editor for you to play around with. Tools that were previously only available to us on the development team.
So that trailer, it was just packed with a ton of crazy moments. So I'm curious, how wild can we actually get with Portal?
You can get pretty wild.
Yeah? Okay, so can I pit World War II against 2042?
Yes, you can.
Okay, what about game modes? Can I make an infection mode where it's me against a ton of super fast soldiers with knives?
Absolutely.
Okay, what about shoddy snipes? But not just regular shoddy snipes, like a gun game with a whole bunch of shoddy snipes from all throughout history.
That is a very specific idea there, Austin, but yes, actually you can.
Batting 3 for 3, bring it home. Can I play as a penguin with a flamethrower?
A penguin with a flamethrower?
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, there are some limits. It's not a level editor. You can't edit the maps themselves. And no, you can't play as a penguin with a flamethrower.
All right, that's fine. That's fine, I had to ask. But it does sound like there's a ton to play around with.
Oh, yes. The options are pretty deep, and we're committed to working with the community to build out this suite of tools and content as the game evolves. We want this experience to go where you want to take it. We see the sandbox as a big part of the future of Battlefield 2042.
Well, I assume that the community is going to have a field day with this.
I really hope players will embrace Portal. That's who we built it for. In fact, we gave a sneak peek to a few members of the community to see what they could come up with.
Oh, okay. I assume my invitation got lost in the mail, but that's fine. That's fine. Let's check it out.
2 teams and 2 VIPs, but only one way to score. This is VIP Fiesta by Courage. It's the US factions of Battlefield 3 and Bad Company 2, facing off on Arica Harbor with 24 players and random loadouts. Die and you'll redeploy with an all-new loadout. Track down that enemy VIP and make it count.
Cleared and under control.
All bring the power of 2042 to Caspian border and take on the forces of 1942. This is Quality versus Quantity by Gabitron. A small squad from 2042 are taking on 32 players from 1942. The future's got the hardware, but the past's got the numbers. Destroy those MCOMs. But do it before your tickets are up. You're not getting them back unless you clear the sector. Not enough memes? Fine. Set up on Orbital for the fight of your lives with Robot Man by Redacted. 20 duck-sized EOD bots, 1 horse-sized T-91. Settle your Battlefield debates on who wins what.
Come on, dude. Robot Man? What? This looks so much fun. But I need to know. Just pretend like the cameras aren't here. Just me and you. Who's Redacted?
Can't tell you that, sorry. But what I can tell you is that we're so excited for the players to create or simply discover their favorite new way to play Battlefield. And we can't wait to explore and try out the thousands of experiences our community will build once they have the tools in their hands.
And we get our hands on Portal at launch, right?
Yes. Okay. Portal will be available at launch, day 1, along with a bunch of pre-made modes for you to try right away.
Okay, this is fantastic. Now, Christian, before you go, let me make sure that I have all of this straight. So on top of all the content and maps that have already been announced, we also get content from Battlefield 1942, Bad Company 2, and Battlefield 3, including 6 of the best maps of all time. And all that can be sliced, diced, and mixed together in Portal. And then we still...
Five. And welcome back to IGN Live, where we're talking about EA Play Live. I almost screwed that part up. I'm Max Scoville, and joining me right now are Stella Chung, Destin Legary, and Kat Bailey. We have a lot to go off. We have a lot to go over, but let's start with the really important thing: Dead Space. Destin, you all right? How you doing? Let's talk about this.
So
I wasn't sure about this, but this looks awesome. Game engine footage represents game and development, so that's really, really cool. And then at the end, we actually see that this is exclusively coming to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. So it seems like it's next gen only. I'm really, really excited to see what they do with it. And there is the scene where it says cut off their limbs. That's straight from the original. That was on the wall, used in a lot of the promotional material. And man, everything about this, it feels like the original. It's been modernized in a way that I'm actually really, really excited about, keeping that feel of the original Dead Space and hopefully the tear and jump scares. I love this game. It looks like they've done it right just based off of this teaser, and I can't wait to see more and play it for myself.
I mean, it's just flat out called Dead Space. That seems like a pretty big indication that this is Dead Space, you know?
You know who might know more? Kat Bailey.
Kat, what can you tell us?
Well, a tweet just went out, and it is being rebuilt from the ground up by Motive Studios, so that's pretty exciting. And beyond that, I think that EA has had a good track record recently with their remakes. I mean, just look at Mass Effect. Yeah, it's not a remake, but it's a really strong remaster. Same with Command & Conquer. They seem to finally be kind of treating their classic franchises with some degree of respect, which I really appreciate. So I think we'll see more of the same from Dead Space. And hey, in about 5 minutes or so, we're going to have an exclusive interview going live with the folks who are making Dead Space. So there'll be lots more information right there.
I'm extremely excited for this. This is like I jumped into the original a couple days ago just to kind of sort of see how it holds up, and it holds up incredibly well mechanically. Like it's such a well-made game, and I think a lot of the stuff we see sort of getting overhauls. I mean, like the original Resident Evil games, they had to do a lot of tweaks to the sort of controls and some of the pacing because those were originally, very clunky tank games. But the original Dead Space is like it plays like a modern game. It just aged a little bit visually, so it's going to be phenomenal to see what they do throwing this into Frostbite on next gen hardware. Now, I believe we have an exclusive look at something. Is that correct? Wow, look at that. We have an exclusive first look. Here is what we can expect from Dead Space running in Frostbite. Look at the graphics there.
It's like we're there. Now, this is who this cosplayer is, but they did a superb job.
This is clearly what it's going to look like running on Series X, as you can tell by all the Halo stuff in the background. There's going to be
see the ray tracing.
Yeah.
It's in the picture.
Yeah. Look at that, just at that atmospheric volumetric fog. It's really it's stunning. But no, okay, so in all seriousness, this is a Destiny.
That's enough. Chris, produce this.
Dustin, I'm so happy you get this. I'm sorry we had to do this to you, but really, we show that clip. We show that clip whenever we finish.
Don't make me put it on.
Do we have any idea when we're going to get this? It seems like it might be a ways off. Do we have any indication, Kat, at all, or?
It sounds like they are getting kind of just started, so I would not expect it in 2022. I think 2023 is more likely, especially with so many games being delayed, but they're working on it, so I think that it's really exciting.
Okay, well, as long as we don't have to wait until 2042, which is my segue to talk about Battlefield 2042, which went from a game I was like, curious about to being like full-blown, extremely pumped for. Kat, you are considerably more experienced in Battlefield than me. Let's talk about Battlefield Portal.
Battlefield Portal looks amazing. So it's bringing together maps from Battlefield 1942, Battlefield Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, not Battlefield 4, unfortunately. That one still has some good maps and is kind of quite beloved as well. And I think that I'm just really excited to see these classic maps, and they're giving the community a lot of control over the customizability, which is a really smart move, I think, by Ripple Effect. Ripple Effect themselves have an excellent track record going back to Battlefield 4 when they were DICE LA. They created the community test server and things like that. They created a couple of the expansion packs, so they really know the game extremely well, and I think that it is in super good hands. I cannot wait to see some of the maps that they put out, including White Pass from Bad Company 2. Please put that one in there because that one is so atmospheric and so gorgeous with the snow and everything.
Now, it seems like this is what we're getting at launch. I have a feeling they're going to continue to support this and drop in plenty more maps. But to be clear, this isn't a map editor or like a level editor. This is like a mode editor, basically, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly what it is. You can have large numbers of, say, World War II German soldiers fighting specialists from Battlefield 2042. You can tweak all of the rules and the guns that are available. They're really giving people a ton of kind of control over how the game plays out, and I think that will go over extremely well with the community. I'm honestly stoked to play this game, not the least because Battlefield Bad Company 2 was my favorite game in this series. So I'm so happy to be revisiting it in my own weird way. And also I'm really excited to have like all kinds of crazy stuff, just trying to take out one giant tank or whatever. And I hope they bring the penguins in. Bring the penguins in.
This looks like so much fun. Stella, you're big into shooters. You're very much sort of our Apex expert, which we'll get to in a second. But
Yeah.
what was your read on Battlefield 2042?
I think this is huge. Like, not only is this appealing to the fan base, but this is also extending the invite to a lot of other casual players because you can customize what kind of matches you can have. So say for, like, I get really overwhelmed with really big matches like this, so you can adjust that and make it smaller. And I think that's really cool that they're giving the community access to all of this just included with the game. So I think that's really big for the game. I think they're bringing in new players this way, and I don't know, when they said that this is a love letter to their fans, they weren't kidding.
Yeah, I think they've realized that there's a lot of Battlefield nostalgia out there, especially for Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3. And so I think it's really smart of them to lean into that and kind of move on from what was kind of a fraught period for the series with Battlefield 5. So with this new mode, I think they really seem to be a lot more tapped into the community than they have been in recent entries.
Yeah, I think just showing the Bad Company grenade won me over immediately.
Yeah.
Because just that subtle nod. I mean, just for me, I'm thinking of like what Ubisoft has been doing with the Splinter Cell franchise and just sort of going in what I would consider the wrong direction versus this, where they're just like, hey, we've heard you. We're bringing back all these classic maps. We're going to allow you to create these cool modes. I was already excited. Now I'm even more excited because you have all of these things sort of making a comeback and you get to play them again in all their new visual glory. Yeah, like the wingsuit and the grapple hook already sold me. This is just like icing on the cake.
Well, it's such a cool option because I mean we've seen some of the best multiplayer games ever have started out as, you know, mods made by players using an existing game as kind of the basis. I mean that's what, like, you know, Counter-Strike was. That's what you know, Dota started out as, like people, you know, tinkering with what was there in front of them. And this is presenting that in a way that's not like, you know, you don't have to be coding, you have to be, you know, getting in the guts of it. Like this is kind of opening up the tool set to players to really play around and create their own, you know, their own custom rules. And I feel like we're going to see some really interesting stuff coming out of it. We've already seen, you know, the Battlefield community gets very creative. Like we've seen the wacky stunts that people pull off, and just people get really invested in this, and it's going to be awesome to see kind of the creative side of that. And it's also it'll buy us some time until, you know, DICE can add in new stuff on their end. You know, we're presumably going to get more maps and you know, DLC down the road, but like this will definitely keep things interesting while they're cooking away at that, because, you know, gotta stay busy.
I adore that they took the time to render this scene, by the way.
Right? This is, yeah.
They're having way too much fun with this. And
yeah.
I think the highlights, it kind of reminds me of The Final Countdown, this 80s movie with where an aircraft carrier goes back in time to World War II. So I want to see Twitch highlights of, you know, a Spitfire in a dogfight with an F-18 or an F-22. It'll be great.
No, I mean, it's surrealist science fiction at this point. It's very cool. And also, I've always wanted to see Nazis versus defibrillators. I think that's a very interesting approach there. Now, shifting gears here, Stella, Apex. Yes. Let's talk about it. Let's see what's going on with that.
Okay. So they finally revealed Seer, and it gave us a little hint on his abilities. We are still not entirely sure what he's bringing. We do know that he is recon, so he